You know, you can't force a song. A song has to be discovered. Welcome to part 2 of how to musically write a song. If you haven't seen my first video, make sure you go back and watch it. You're definitely going to want to get those keys. Secondly, as I was over the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so that I've been working on this particular song, I've realized a few things that I do when I'm writing a song that I didn't even talk about in the first video. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do a part 2. And so one of the first things, and this is probably one of the biggest keys, is you've got to get a recording of what you have so far, even if it's just a basic piano recording. Record it onto your phone, record it onto something where you can listen to it over and over again. I personally put it on my phone, and then I listen to it in my car as I'm driving around. And then record what you have and listen to it again. It's a process of listening. You know, you never know when you're going to have that inspiration of when the next thing is going to come, and that's why it's important to let it kind of surround you. Sometimes I'll listen to it, and I'll even stop listening to it and just think about it in my head. Have the music play in my head. And that's even better, quite frankly, in certain circumstances where you just listen and you kind of sing the song in your head or hear it in your head, because things will start coming in that you'll hear that you're not playing, and you want to come back and pluck those things out and figure out what they are. So here's the melody that I had before I made any changes. Da 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 da. That basic idea. And as I was writing that, or as I was listening to it over and over again, and listening to the piano, I felt like this was going to be the intro of the song. And being the intro, and so I thought that in the beginning, I thought it was going to be like the verses that we would repeat over and over again. But as I realized this is just going to be the intro and not the verses, not the chorus or anything else, just its own little intro, maybe even have it be the outro of the song, I felt I needed to make a little bit of a change where it was more of it filled it a little better. So here's what that sounds like. And I'll even sing it with the words that I put to it. How does a blind man rise above? And I've changed a couple of extra things, but that little extra piece, what that allowed me to do was feel like it was going to come to a closure instead of going on and on and on. So again, it's just all about listening and feeling it. Key number 1, listening over and over again, listening in your head, and being willing to, I'm going to say key number 2, being willing to change what you've already created to make it better. It's such a rare occasion that I write a song perfect from start to finish, have all the changes, all the parts. A lot of times I actually have, I'll write a verse, and then I'll write an intro, then I'll write a verse. Maybe I'll write a chorus first and then write verses later. You never know what you're going to do first and second. So you just got to get down what you have, and then maybe even add another. There's been times when I've added choruses from other songs that I've written and put them with verses of a new song that I'm writing, and they seem to flow better than the old ones. And be willing to make changes. Be willing to upgrade your song to make it better. I'm going to say that the third big key in writing music is to make sure when you're working on a song that you do the best you can with that song. You take the time to make that song great. Make sure you make it a project. It's not just, I wrote something really quick and that's it. You got to give that song, every song you need to give some time to and dedicate time and effort to it. So since I've been working on it further, I now have the intro. I also have the verses as well as a chorus. And if you want to hear the entire song all together, I will link that to this particular video in the future when I finish it. But currently, right now, I haven't finished the song. I'm probably 85% done, but I've still got some lyrics to write. I've got to finish the ending up to make it sound nice. So I'm not going to be posting it right away. But here in the near future, hopefully within a week or two, I'll have an attachment where you can click on it and listen to the actual song. You'll also see the download as it comes. Now, the next thing that I noticed about this song as I wrote the verse is the verse, for whatever reason, needed to be played faster than the intro. And when you're recording and you're not playing right to a metronome, that can be challenging. And so in the beginning, as I was working on this verse and intro and trying to connect them, I was either having to play the intro too fast or the verse too slow, and neither one of those felt right. So I decided, you know what? And this can happen as well. The intro is slower as far as tempo goes than the rest of the song. And that's totally fine as well. If that fits right and it feels right, then do it. So I've got my beginning part. How does a blind man rise above? As I go into the next little filler part before the verse, it has to speed up. So, da 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 da, and then it goes da 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 da. And amazingly, that can fit just fine. Sometimes different parts of songs are different tempos. I never would have guessed that was how the song was going to go, but as I've put it together, it fits really, really well. So let me play you the verse now and show you the right pace, the way I feel that it needs to be, and I'll kind of hum along the melody that I have because I have not written the lyrics for this part, but I want to show you that, and then I want to also show you how, if I played it slower, how it doesn't really fit right, and why that, if I went along with the intro's tempo, it wouldn't work. But if I was playing the tempo of the intro, which goes like this, da 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 da, then the verse would have had to have been this slow. And to me, that just feels like I'm dragging, I'm not getting somewhere. So it was actually fairly difficult for me to figure out that I needed to go faster there and the intro be slower, because I tried to speed up the intro and then it just didn't work. Da 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 da. It doesn't sound terrible, but when I put the words to it, it wasn't quite right. And so I found that I could just play the intro slower and then play the verses faster. But again, you'll never discover that until you play them over and over again. In fact, I played both of them at slower speed, faster speed in my car, recorded both, listened to them both, and just felt like neither of them fit right until I put both tempos, slow then fast, and it just sounded perfect, sounded great. It would work just fine to just do the da 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 da. It's just the same two chords. But a lot of times in music, if you just change the bass note but keep the chord the same, it can add this element of feeling great. I'll just play that one more time. Now this same exact chord, all I'm doing is moving my bass note up one. So I'm staying right there on that F sharp major. Once I got a beat for that, or I started playing around with that, I could feel the beat. Then I could start playing around with it a little more fully. So let me show you how that sounds. So very simple. Another huge key, you guys. Make sure you record inspirations when they come. Don't think, oh, I'll remember that when I get back to the piano in an hour. Man, record it right then. I can't tell you how many times I didn't record something when it came. I was playing a song and I played something amazing and I just went and did something else and I forgot it. It's happened over and over again. So I've learned it hasn't happened recently because I've learned to record everything. I always have my phone with me. And I'm always recording things as they come, whether it's a vocal melody, a piano part, a guitar part, whatever. I'm going to record it and I'm going to take it with me. Now, another final key that's really, really important when writing a song, and that is you can't force inspiration. Inspiration comes when it comes. And so if you put yourself in a place where you're listening to it regularly, there will be times I'm listening to it, times when I'm listening to it in my car, times when I'm laying it, or just listening to it in my head, however I'm doing it, and nothing comes. Well, put it down for a minute. Go do something else, not musical, and wait for it. You know, you can't force a song. a song has to be discovered. You guys, I'm so excited for you to take these techniques that we've talked about in the last 2 videos and just play around with it. Go out, start listening to your songs, put more time into them. You're going to find that your songs will get better and better. And I can promise you one thing: the more songs you write, the better your songwriting will get. I've been writing songs for years and years, over 20 years now. It was actually George Harrison that talked about some of his early songs that were written, and they never ended up on Beatles albums because the band didn't really like them. But later on, he wrote some of my very favorite Beatles songs of all time. And that's because he didn't give up. He kept writing songs until his songs became great. He kept getting better at hearing the inspiration, just as every musician has to do. We can't force it. We have to wait for it. We have to listen for it. But make sure you record it so you don't forget it. Use these techniques, write a new song today, and have a great time. Thanks.
How does a blind man rise above? How does he see a separate island? Yes, the stars may line above as far as the ocean goes.